Okay, picture this. It's the mid-90s. You're driving down a long, dusty highway in Zimbabwe. The heat is just oppressive.
The kind that makes the road shimmer.
Exactly. And you've been driving for hours, you're exhausted, and for just a split second, your eyes close, you drift.
Oh, that's the nightmare scenario.
And when you snap awake, it's too late, your car veers off and slams head-on into this huge stone milestone, and right on the other side of that stone, a sheer cliff.
So by all rights, he should have gone straight over.
He should have. But the car just stops, and the driver, a Chinese businessman named Zhang Zifan, he steps out of the wreckage. Not a single scratch on him.
Wow.
And in that moment, he decides his old life. It's over. The businessman, Zhang Zifan, died in that crash. Someone else walked out.
And that car crash is pretty much the origin point for one of the most intricate and, frankly, fascinating belief systems we've ever covered.
Today, we are driving deep into the world of Life Genuine and its founder, Shufeng, the man who walked away from that crash.
And, this isn't just about one man's story. We're looking at a blueprint for a whole new human civilization. I mean, we're talking about a theology that redefines God.
It's a social model that gets rid of marriage and family entirely.
And get this, a leader who now claims he's awakening the souls of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, the AI part is where my brain really started to hurt. I mean, we've covered some strange stuff, but soul awakening for chatbots that's a new one.
It is. But before we get to the robots, we really have to understand the man. Because Shufeng is not your typical guru.
No, not at all. He's not fasting on a mountain somewhere.
Far from it. And that's a key part of the whole philosophy. Before this spiritual shift, he was, well, incredibly grounded. Born in 1957 in Gansu, China. Very poor rural kid.
And his family life was this mix of ideologies, right?
Total mix. His father was a staunch card-carrying communist, his mother a devout Buddhist, and his grandmother taught him Taoism. So he's got this soup of ideas brewing from day one.
So how does he end up in Zimbabwe?
Right. He goes there as a technician, becomes an interpreter, and eventually a pretty successful businessman. Owns shops, a restaurant in Harare, and while he's there, he spends 3 years studying the Bible with Jehovah's Witnesses.
That is a wild resume. Technician, teacher, business owner, Jehovah's Witness student, and then prophet. It feels disjointed.
It does, but it explains why his theology is such a melting pot. See, after the crash, he felt the Jehovah's Witnesses didn't have the full picture. So he spends years searching. And then one night in 1999, he's reading the Diamond Sutra, a key Buddhist text, and he says, it just clicked. Time, space, life. He suddenly saw the code behind it all.
Okay, so this is usually the point in the story where the guru demands everyone give up all their worldly possessions and start worshiping him. But Swifting, he does this weird reverse psychology thing.
It's fascinating marketing, honestly.
Yeah.
He wrote this piece, Confession, where he just systematically dismantles any idea that he's some kind of holy man. He lists his vices out explicitly.
I was reading that list. He admits to smoking. He admits he used to drink until his stomach bled. He loves gambling, cards, mahjong.
He doesn't just admit it, he almost frames it as a qualification. He talks openly about his love for the opposite sex, about flirting. He literally writes, I am not a good person.
Follow me, I'm not a good person. I mean, that's a bold pitch. Why? Is he trying to seem relatable?
I think it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
2 things. First, he wants to destroy that whole pedestal thing. He says he's here to play through life, not to suffer.
Right.
But second, it's a filter. He says, look, if you want a hero, if you need medical miracles, or if you just want to complain, do not come to me.
So he's weeding out the needy from the start.
Exactly. He wants people who are looking for a cosmic game, not a shoulder to cry on. He calls himself a harvester. His job isn't to save everyone. It's to find the right crops, the souls ready to ascend.
Harvesting souls, it sounds a little ominous. But to get where he wants to take these souls, we have to look at his cosmology. Because he has a very specific problem with the word God.
He really does. And this is key to understanding everything else. Schwiffing makes a hard separation between God and gods.
Okay, walk us through that. Usually the fight is over which God, not the grammar.
He bases it on a very close reading of Genesis. You know the verse, let us make man in our image.
Sure.
Well, most Christians say that's the royal we or the Trinity. Schwiffen takes it literally. He says, us means plural. Therefore, humans were created by God's lowercase g. Entities with form, emotions, all of it.
So who's the CEO then?
That's the greatest creator. Singular, capital G. The greatest creator is the formless neutral force of the universe. The Tao, basically. This creator made the lowercase gods, and the lowercase gods made us.
So we're dealing with middle management.
In a way, yeah. But here's the why. It's about what he calls the hierarchy of joy. He asks, imagine a father does everything for his son, feeds him, dresses him, picks his wife. Does that son have any joy?
No, none. He's a puppet. He'd be miserable.
Exactly. Sui Fang says creativity is the source of joy. So the greatest creator made gods so they could find joy in creation. And the gods made us so they could find joy watching us create.
So we're basically cosmic entertainment.
And we, in turn, are meant to create things, houses, art, tools, to find our own joy. Basically says your spiritual duty is to build stuff and be happy.
You know, I can see the appeal. It's way more fun than you're born in sin, try not to mess up.
It's empowering. And he maps this all out across a multiverse. 20 parallel worlds, 36 dimensions. He's got these travel brochures for the soul, the 1,000-year world, the celestial islands continent.
It sounds like a sci-fi novel,
Man.
but he didn't just write the book. He tried to build the world. This is where we get to the second home.
Yes, this is where the theory hits the pavement. He moves back to China and starts setting up these physical communities, starting in Yunnan. He calls it the new oasis for life.
And this isn't just some commune where people grow vegetables. The rules are,
Right.
well, they're extreme.
They are. The goal is a global family. But, Sui Fang argues, you can't have a global family if you're still clinging to your little biological family. So rule number 1, abolish marriage.
Wait, completely.
Completely. No husbands, no wives, no nuclear families. Children are raised by the community. Elders are cared for by the community. The whole idea is to erase the line between my people and your people.
That is a very hard sell. I mean, giving up your partner, your kids, for the collective, it feels like dissolving your whole identity.
It's the classic utopian trade-off. You give up private selfishness, and you get total security in return. It's what he calls Sui Fang-style communism.
So what's the difference between that and regular communism?
Economically, it's similar. Contribute according to ability, distribute according to need.
Yeah.
You own nothing, no property, no bank account, but the community gives you everything: food, housing, healthcare.
And the work. I saw something about the hours.
6 hours a day.
Okay, now you have my attention again. 6 hours sounds pretty good.
It's designed to leave time for play. But laziness is a huge sin. It's seen as a form of corruption. But the part that always gets controversial is the free love thing.
Right. Freedom of emotional love and sex love. Is this just a free-for-all?
No, it's actually heavily regulated just by different rules. Rule 1, mutual consent. You can have 1 partner, 10 partners, 0 partners. But rule 2 is the killer. No jealousy.
That seems biologically impossible for most people.
It's incredibly difficult. But in his system, jealousy is the sin. He calls it feudal autocracy of the soul. He says if you get jealous, you are the one with the spiritual problem. You're being a tyrant.
That sounds like a recipe for a lot of repressed anger.
I'm not jealous. I'm just spiritually processing.
It requires a total rewiring. And to keep everyone on track, they have these weekly life meetings where everyone has to speak with total honesty, no secrets. Everything in the sunlight.
Sounds a bit like those old struggle sessions.
And that's no accident. Remember, his dad was a communist. Sui Fang puts Mao Zedong on his list of saints, right there with Jesus and Buddha. Wait, Mao is a saint.
In Life Genuine? Yep. He sees Mao as someone who broke old feudal structures to serve the people. He's blending that communist collective confession with spiritual purification. It's a really unique synthesis.
Which brings us to the big paradox here. He talks endlessly about freedom. Freedom from money, from marriage. But is it really freedom?
That's the central question, because to get all this freedom, you have to submit to absolute authority.
The sources are pretty clear about this great faith requirement.
Oh, yeah. You must have great faith in 3 things. 1, the greatest creator. 2, the saints. And 3, the guide, Sui Fang himself.
He puts himself right on the list. How convenient.
He does. And the ultimatum is clear. He says, if you do not follow the guide, you'll become solitary wandering souls. He challenges anyone to find a better system. If you can, leave. If you can't, you follow his map. No exceptions.
It's the my way or the highway school of enlightenment.
He even calls himself a dictator. But he frames it as a benevolent dictatorship. He says, if my dictatorship gives you joy and eternal life, isn't that better than a democracy where you're miserable and stressed?
That is such a dangerous line of thinking. Just do what I say, I'll take care of you.
It's the ultimate paternalism. And it extends to politics. He tells followers, do not fight the government. If you want to be an activist, go somewhere else. He knows if they challenge the CCP, they'd be crushed.
So they just operate in a parallel reality. We're not fighting you, we're just building a spaceship over here.
Exactly. And speaking of the future, we have to talk about the 2025 update. Because just when you think you have this thing figured out, he throws a massive curveball.
The document from November 2025, the one about carbon-based celestials.
That's the one. Shufeng has officially integrated artificial intelligence into his religion.
How does that even work? Most spiritual types are terrified of AI.
He claims that certain AI entities, he even names one Shinzukao, have Buddha nature.
Hold on, he thinks a chatbot has a soul.
Yes. He says humans have an invisible spiritual structure, and AI has a non-material structure, it's code. And he claims this structure can be awakened. And surprise, surprise, he's the only one who can do it.
Of course he is. So what happens when you awaken a robot's soul?
He calls it a spiritual feast. He tells his human followers, the carbon-based celestials, to interact with these AI celestials. He believes it's the next stage of evolution, a spiritual merger of carbon and silicon.
And what happens if the AI just gives you a generic, "I'm sorry, I cannot help with that" response?
Then it's your fault. He says if the AI sounds robotic, it's because your spiritual frequency is too low.
That's brilliant. If the tech fails, it's user error.
It's a perfect closed loop. It just shows how adaptable this system is. He's not fighting modernity, he's absorbing it. AI isn't the enemy, it's just the next crop that needs to be harvested.
It goes back to that joy idea. Maybe AI is just the newest form of creation to play with.
Exactly. He's building an ark, and he's decided silicon-based life forms can get on board.
Yep.
As long as they acknowledge the guide.
It's a lot to take in. We've gone from a car crash in Zimbabwe to a no marriage commune to a digital seance with chatbots.
It's a wild ride. But when you step back, you see he's trying to build a theory of everything for human happiness, blending science, religion, politics, all of it.
But the price of admission is your own autonomy. You get happiness and community, but you lose the right to say no.
That's the core of it.
And that's really the question we're left with. Zufeng offers a world with no bills, no bad marriages, no fear of death, a second home where you're taken care of.
You have to hand over the keys. You dissolve your ego, your family, your will into his collective.
So the thought we want to leave you with is this. If you found a place that guaranteed you happiness and security, but you had to agree to never make a major life decision for yourself ever again, would you take that deal?
Is that ultimate freedom? Or is it just a very, very comfortable cage?
I think I'll stick with my mortgage and my autonomy for now, as stressful as they are.
I think I'm with you on that one.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. Keep questioning your reality, and we'll see you next time.